What's up? It's Jeremy Picker from Amber Creative.
This is Deanna with In the Zoning and Print Girl Mafia.
This is Ray Weiss with Printing the Night of the Lion.
You're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs RG, Regular Guy, and Aaron Montgomery.
The place to be for industry news.
The best dad jokes on earth, along with relevant topics to apparel decorators.
Fashion to the people.
All right, welcome into the show. It is Friday, September 20th, 2024. I'm Terry Combs. You can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and I help business owners break free from the chaos and turn it into clarity by cultivating an uncommon mindset. So actually, if anybody wants to talk about that and learn a little bit more, happy to chat with you. Just go to osg.link/thank you. So Terry, Two Regular Guys is a really big part of that for me. Is we're all about freely sharing information here and just bringing in people from around the industry and really having, good conversations, sharing openly, cultivating those uncommon mindsets. And today is not going to be any different than the previous 566 shows. I think we're 567 about. So we're going to welcome in Bo Beltzer, and he's with, and I don't think I just probably butchered his name, so I apologize, Bo. He always goes by Bo. Rodeo Bo, right? Well, we've talked about that in previous episodes, but he's with Condé Systems, and obviously hearing the word Condé Systems and some of the news that we had a few months back, we're excited to welcome Bo back as part of Condé Systems. And there's an ever-evolving world out there in sublimation, Terry. So we get to talk to Bo about that, not just about Condé, but just kind of the landscape on whole there. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation.
Yes, it's nice to have a segment where Condé is on the rise rather than some previous information we had to share earlier in the year. So
exciting stuff going on for sure. Yeah,
exactly. So be sure to stay till the very end for the secret sauce. Dane Clement will be sharing his secret recipe for color profiles. So that should be interesting. And Aaron, you just had a birthday, man. How was your birthday trip to California?
It was an amazing trip. It was a wonderful trip for me. And so I don't know if you guys can see it, those that are watching the video here. This is a picture of my wife from 8th grade. And there you go. Thank you, Eric. So yeah, get in the glare. So her birthday's today. Our birthdays are a week apart, so they always kind of blend together a little bit. And so no different here. So because I was in California, my wife and son made a little cake for me and stuff just a couple nights ago. And today we are celebrating Kylene's birthday. So I'm wearing this button. She is horrified by it, and I think it's awesome.
She appreciates that you're wearing it on the show.
I'm wearing it all day. I'm doing another interview. I'm being interviewed on another podcast later this afternoon. I'm wearing it there. We're gonna go all out here. So
I love it.
In fact, Cindy King says sending birthday wishes to Kylene. So
very nice.
Very nice. There we go. Awesome. Well, Terry, we're going to go out of order a little bit here, I believe. Eric, are we still in that spot? Yep. Okay. So normally, we would have the news hit here. We still have the news coming for you, but we're just rearranging things a little bit. And we're going to do the dad joke first. And Terry, I've actually not looked at it yet. So I want to be surprised like everybody else. I haven't scrolled down there yet. So.
Okay. It'll be a surprise. I'm ready.
Yes. So are you ready for the dad joke?
Yeah, let's do it.
I did actually just read it.
This is kind of for you, Eric. Being the medieval literature guy.
Is that his title? I like that.
Yeah, I think we should have that under his name. And
okay.
I think this is a joke that they told sitting around the grad student lounge or something.
Yeah, probably. All right, let's do this.
All right, Aaron. Last night I tried mixing Mexican alcohol with 20th century American literature.
Interesting. How did that turn out?
Yeah, I ended up with Tequila Mockingbird. Aaron, yes? No, I can't see Aaron.
There we go.
Sorry,
Thank
Aaron.
you, Eric. For those that are listening to the podcast version, Eric had in quotes to kill a mockingbird instead of tequila. I think Eric's actually drinking some tequila right now, in honor of that joke. He's not happy with us. Well, let's chat with some of the regulators here,
Yeah.
Terry, for sure. Let's see here. Let's go back up a little bit further. We've got everybody tuned in. We appreciate everybody jumping in this morning. Rena jumped in early this morning, said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Friday." And Doug is checking in from cloudy Los Angeles. And Cindy King, good morning. And she's from Texas, so you got to say good morning, y'all. So you got to get the. Do you have a good y'all, Terry? Does that roll off your tongue?
I did grow up in Appalachia, so y'all don't get to hear it very often, but
You got it in there. It's in there.
My mother for years said, "Why do you talk like a Yankee?" It's because, I moved to Ohio when I was in middle school, and I was just tormented by people about the way I talk. So
Love it.
I had to kind of change. But all the rest of my family, they are straight out of Tennessee.
There you go. All right. Well, so good morning, y'all, to Cindy and Chuck. Good morning. Doug said, "What podcast?" So it's somebody that I met out in Long Beach, and she's just got kind of a more mindset-driven podcast. I'll get more of the details. We're gonna connect. My guess is quickly meeting her in Long Beach. She's like, "Hey, let's have this meeting and get together." She's very like whimsical, spur of the moment. So my guess is we're going to have a recorded conversation, and she's just going to record that, and that's going to become the podcast. So there's no outline, there's no plan, there's no details yet. So stay tuned.
She's like, "Let's get together this afternoon sometime." I don't know.
Yeah. We at least got an actual calendar thing set up, but that's about the extent of it. So no, I'm looking forward to talking to Jana is her name. So I'll share details here probably next week.
Right.
So let's see here. Ramona was ready for the dad joke. She laughs. Tequila will do just that. Tequila, a mockingbird. And then Amy says, "I love it." So, all right.
Well, it looks like our news segment is in place. Marcia Derryberry was on her way to the airport, so she was getting out of an Uber, I believe, when that's why we rearranged things. So
yeah. So Eric, whenever you're ready, sir.
Good morning from Denver International Airport. Can everybody hear me? Eric, throw me a message so I know. Okay. Well, Cindy and I are both from Texas, so I've got a great y'all. So, how are y'all recovering after Printing United? What a huge show, and especially being the editor of Big Picture too. I was back and forth between both halls. I don't think I've ever worked a show so hard. So it was a ton of fun to see a bunch of old friends and meet new ones. And I've got 2 new items to share for you that came out of the show. The first is very, very important to us at Screen Printing. I had the honor of presenting the Women in Screen Printing Awards, which is an annual award we've done for 6 years, started by our good friend Adrian Palmer, who's the former editor of both Big Picture and Screen Printing. We had Print Girl Mafia there cheering everybody on, and most of the winners were able to join us and accept their awards in person, so it was a ton of fun. The link that Eric is showing has a group picture of all the ladies. So I wanted to thank this year's sponsor was Unite Together. And as most of you know, or if you don't know, that's a really great organization that promotes inclusivity and diversity in the industry, among other things. So I urge you to check them out. It's Unite Together, and it's all capitals, periods in between each letter in Unite, which is a real hassle to type in, but that's how they do it. So a little about the awards. It's not just for leadership and creativity in the industry, but it's also about community involvement, philanthropy, maybe donating printing services to people. So it's really recognizing what, as we all know, has been traditionally a male-dominated industry. But women print shop owners, press operators, C-level executives, we honor any type of female leader because they've been around since the very beginning, and it's time that we got recognition. So, congratulations to this year's winners: Ella Vickerman, Chrissy Gibbons, Veronica Anderson, Megan Griffith, Letitia Allen, and Karina Larson. And if you go to this month's Dig-a-Madge at screenprintingmag.com, it's the lead big story. And you can read they each got a page profile on a lot of their goings on and how they got awarded and stuff like that. So I do encourage you to check that out. Let me go to my next one. Sorry, I'm reading. It's been a bit of a hectic morning. I was got to be blessed enough to come see my friends Barry and Tammy Cundiff out here at Woohoo Screen Printing Supplies in Denver. They have an open house every year, and it's a blast. Get to see a bunch of old friends like Jesse Martinez and Walt from Murakami, and Jay Margulies from Albatross, and Lucas from Graphics. And so it was really fun. So it's a little hectic this morning. Like I said, I literally got out of an Uber at 9 o'clock and got set up with my new headphones that my son turned me on to because I'm a moron when it comes to technology. But my second article is really cool. It's by our friend Marshall Atkinson and some other people. And it's a guidebook to the printing industry inclusivity. And the official debut was at Printing United on Wednesday, September 11th. They had a little ceremony for it. So it's written by industry veterans Jed Seifert and Vince Bartozzi with Stakes Manufacturing, Patrick Bardsley and Tim Howe from Spectrum Designs, and then of course Marshall with our Marshall or Atkinson Consulting. So these guys teamed up to author the definitive guidebook for championing hiring people with disabilities into the print workforce. The book is titled Inclusivity: Company Benefits of Disability Inclusion and How to Implementation Guide for the Print Industry. And I love the title. It is I-N-K, inclusivity. I'm never going to be able to compete with the knee-slapping hilarious dad jokes, but I do love a little play on words that involve the industry. So the challenges of the printing industry's notion of who should be considered for a job are many. This book aims to open business owners' minds to what it is possible when you focus on people's abilities instead of disabilities, and help them see the path to creating an opportunity for someone with disabilities who might be their next employee. Jed says, we're helping companies understand the benefits of hiring people with disabilities and what inclusion can do for your business. This starts with breaking down the false stigmas and preconceived notions around hiring people with disabilities, and then educating them on the incredible free disability employment support organizations all over the country that are eager to assist them. They aim to drive an industry-wide impact, creating more employment opportunities for people with disabilities in the print industry, while helping companies improve their culture, retention, and performance. Creating a safe and welcoming environment for all people where they can be comfortable being themselves and don't have to be pretend any different is the goal. It's a work environment where all employees with and without diversities can be open about their weaknesses and what they need to be successful, knowing that the company will help them mitigate their challenges, cultivate their strengths, and put them in a position to be successful, maximizing their fulfillment, happiness, and dedication. Inclusivity is a guidebook that contains the collective experience of how a business can make inclusivity work and provides the tools to make an effective change. Now, this is really hits close to home for me. I have one grandchild, my dear granddaughter, Etta Jo. If you're friends with me on Facebook, which many, many printers are, I bore everybody with pictures of my beautiful girl. But she's 10 years old and she's nonverbal, severely autistic. So it's a challenge. We often think, my son and his wife and I often think, where's she going to go from here in life? Because she can't speak and there's lots of challenges. She's super, super bright, can type anything on the computer, Google anything. But we wonder, what will she do? And so me being a part of the printing industry for so many years, and a book like this, and there's other organizations like Unite, and there have been over the years, lots of shops hire people with disabilities. So we may see Etta Jo in a print shop someday. I hope so. So that's it for me for now. I'm going to catch a flight. I'm on Southwest. I used to be a Delta girl when I lived in Atlanta, but now I got to be in the cattle herd. At least I'm in the A group, and I'm wearing a knee brace, so I'll be limping up there hoping to pre-board. And then I'll be getting a double Bloody Mary on the plane, and I will see you guys in 3 weeks. Bye-bye.
Well, that was the first wrap of a news segment with, and now I'm going to get a double Bloody Mary.
Love it. Love it. Marcia, Southwest is every seat is first class, right? That's what they're trying to peddle. That's
Well, Marcia mentioned several of our friends and the folks that are going to be on the show here in the near future. Aaron, I met along those lines. I met three gentlemen yesterday from O'Neill Print here in Phoenix,
okay.
who are a second chance screen printer. So they hire folks recently released from incarceration, things like that. And so I've asked them to be on the show as well. So
awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to have Jed and Patrick join us. I think reached out to Patrick after. So they had their little book launch there at Printing United, and
Right.
most of you guys know that this is also very near and dear to my heart, with my older son Keegan being on the autism spectrum, and I'm sitting in the front row and sitting there with my wife listening to them talk. Jed and Patrick are sharing stories, and I'm crying like a little baby. So I sent Patrick an email, and Patrick and Jed an email. I said, hey, apologize for sitting there in the front row crying while you guys are talking, but boy, it's important work that you guys are doing. Would you like to come on the show and share it?
Well, I remember Jed being on a panel where the people were basically complaining about hiring good employees and what a terrible time they're having. And Jed was the last person to talk. And he goes, oh, really? There are employees everywhere. Just ask me.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Terry, we got a little housekeeping to do, and then we got to get Bo in here. We got lots to talk about. So you want to get that housekeeping out of the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we dive in, thanks to everyone for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We still need your voices. We would love to have the regulators participate in our show intros. Go to decorators.ink./intro, read a few sentences, and be a part of the show. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2 regular guys. Wow, it's you may have to ask all the questions today.
Tongue tied.
Anyway, go to calendly.com/2 regular guys to book a future episode. If you're listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with all of your industry friends so they can become regulators too. If you are we would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, YouTube Podcast, wherever you do your podcast listening, we are there. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and your questions for Bo.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of Bo, Terry, I think we're ready. We've asked him to hang out in the green room way too long. I think he's finished off all of the green M&Ms that we left there for him. And so are you ready to bring Bo in here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk to Bo.
All right. Whenever you're ready. There we go. Wow. Welcome in.
There's not enough oxygen for me in the green room. Thanks for letting me out, guys.
Finally, he can breathe. He can breathe.
Lots of good information there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey, Bo, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you joining us again. We know the loyal listeners, regulators know that you've kind of been the face of Condi for a long time, and so we are very excited to see you back in that role first and foremost. But for our listeners that might not be familiar, can you give us a little Bo 101, so to speak? What's kind of been your journey into and through the industry so far?
Yeah. Thank you for welcoming me back to the industry. I would say a quick overview of me is I was a touring musician out of high school, and I went to college later in life. I got a degree in media productions and studies. So I'm really good with all sorts of media. I love photography and videography. Then there was that whole 2008 recession type thing, if we can call it that. And I got a job land surveying, and land surveying really taught me the importance of being precise with measurements. It really, really taught me that. It's something people don't know. I was a civil engineer out there doing stuff. And I just got sick of, I'm from Detroit. I got sick of being out in the hot summers and the cold winters. And I applied to a company by the name of, I called it Sizer. And I found out that it was actually pronounced Caesar, like the salad. And if you know Dave Wheatley and Johan, they're the ones that brought me into this industry. So either thank them or kick them in the shins for me. Um, and I got working in each master vinyl. You know, I worked with the absolute best in the industry. I learned from the best, and that is Joe Piazza. I'm sure you guys know Joe Piazza, and you know, I'm
A big
sorry
movie star.
I'm like him, but you know, he's got the air of the industry, and I'm just trying to make him proud every day. And then I moved to Mobile, and I started working at Condi up until the end of that, and I've got a motto, and it's staying positive and being friendly. And I think that the customers and the guests of Condi really appreciated that, and they showed their love. And you know, people high up and other the vendors and the manufacturers really let the new owner of Condi know that I'm a good dude and that he should hire me. So I'm at the new Condi. We're in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm still in Mobile. I've been out to Jacksonville. It's an interesting time.
Love it.
I'm thinking that we should probably change the intro where we say, well, what did you do before you came into the industry? And just say, what was the name of your band? Because most everybody that's signed, well, I was in a band.
That is a secret. I don't tell anyone. That's a secret.
Oh, okay. So we can't go look it up and try to listen to some of the good old days there?
No, no, not at all. In fact, you know how they have those fishy things on Facebook that's like, oh my God, I found this picture of you. Click here, I can't believe it. A customer once, sent me that on Facebook, and I was like, oh no, they know about those days?
Love it.
But I didn't
All
fall
right.
for it. We got Chuck on here. Good morning, Chuck. And Needles is saying, so good to see the Condi name live. Yes, we're streaming this on Condi's channel. So everyone, this is for you guys who don't know, this is Aaron Montgomery and Terry Combs. They do this Two Regular Guys podcast every Friday. Depending on where you're at in the United States, it's sometime from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Something like that, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. 11 o'clock Eastern time. Every Friday for the last 12 years.
All right, Bo. Well, so we are actually having just a hair of a trouble with your sound over there. It sounds a little muffled. I don't know if there's a
Is that any? Oh, I got to talk for you to check it, don't I? Is that any better? Or?
Way better. Way better.
Okay.
Awesome. So,
Okay.
Bo, what's the transition been like for Conde Systems since this recent relaunch under new ownership?
This is a question I kind of have a hard time answering because the transition's been great. Everything's been great. It's really positive, but like I feel like I'm putting down old Condi by saying the transition's been. I don't mean anything bad on old Condi there. It was a great time there, but this transition's going great. A lot of the vendors really, really excited to work with us. They're really excited to see Condi coming back. They know the power, the juggernaut that Condi was and can be, and it's been really great. David McLean, the new owner, he's a really awesome guy. When I go out to Jacksonville, I actually stay with him, so we've been pretty close with each other during this whole thing. But it's been pretty great. I feel like my hard work has really paid off over the years. So yeah, I do think it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Customers are there, and they're excited too, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that,
certainly...
like you said, nothing to take away from what was for, sometimes things just come to pass, right? It's time to change, move on. Change is a good thing. But I think, having you to be doing what you're doing, I think that's a great bridge for people, right? Like, yeah, I know that when I used to think about Condi, I thought about Bo, right? You thought about David, you thought about Bo. And so I think we can still think about Bo, and obviously we appreciate you bringing the Condi tribe to the party here too.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
So, okay. So we're, yes, positivity. That's where we want to keep. moving forward, you guys know me. That's my thing too. I learned it from Bo, so it's all good. Um, so
I learned it from you, so
so it's a great cycle that we have. But I understand that they're not always rainbows and ponies all the time, right? We can look at things from the positive aspect of it, but as you guys are kind of rebuilding, right? Like this is a big undertaking to go from, kind of the notice was things are shutting down to, okay, now we're restarting, but it is a different company. And so what have been some of the challenges that you guys have faced as you're kind of rebuilding the product line? And is there any, anything you can share with us about how you're tackling them, or what kind of people can expect here in the future?
well, it is weird for me because I worked at Old Condi and now I'm at New Condi, but Old Condi had 30 years. This new Condi might have 3 months in since David purchased it. So it is absolutely a new startup company with a head start and all that. Um, I see Jonathan's asking, will we return to California? And that's a question we get quite often here, and it's something that's hard to say. I know the numbers of what that facility cost us in California, and um, right now we just cannot afford those numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe in 3 to 5 years or something. And by the way, 3 to 5 years is kind of my general answer to when anything's going to be up and running.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of issues with those sort of things. Getting the suppliers in. A lot of the suppliers have been very, very gracious to help us, with drop ships, lowering their minimum quantity order, helping those sort of things. We are working on getting, the overseas products currently, those sort of things. We've got Doug in here saying, what is Condi? Well, Condi was the largest supplier of sublimation blanks in, I would say, the United States. If it wasn't the biggest, it was one of the biggest, the top three for sure. Working with the industry leaders in sublimation and bringing you guys the best blanks for sublimation. And that's something too we can bring up. An issue we have as being a new startup company is we have to reintroduce ourselves and go through the whole signing up process and getting all the distributors and the manufacturers on board. And right now, we do have a lot of them. We've got Rico, we've got Creo, we've got Caesar, we've got Geonite Forever, Epson, Vapor, Stalls, DTF Station, Uninet. We're getting the color like glass, and we've got Chromolux, we've got Unisub. We've got a new product, Polar Camel Tumblers, which are on sale right now. Go to condi.com and check that out. We're getting our skinny tumblers in. Mugs. We've got mugs in stock. We've got the Mug 11, which was the hottest seller at Condi. We've got a whole bunch of those. We're getting the mouse pad material in. We're getting the ceramic tiles in. Yes, the sublinen will be on its way. I'm putting an order in for that, and slate is also coming in. So, there's a lot coming in, but some of the dealers, manufacturers we haven't finished negotiating with them yet.
Okay. Awesome.
I had to write all those down, and I'm sorry if I forgot any products or anything.
Yeah, don't take that personally. We're putting them on the spot here.
Condi had Infinity products, and we're trying to get at least 10% of Infinity products. It's a large undertaking. It's fun, and you don't realize how much work you've done and have until you look back.
Yeah.
And that's staying positive. You can get down. It was really hard when Condi closed. It was really hard on me knowing my self-worth and all of those sort of things. And I do want to thank Aaron for helping me through a lot of that. Aaron was the light at the end of the tunnel for me. And there's other people out there, and they know who they are. They helped me out through all this process.
Yep.
And that's where the staying positive comes in.
Yeah. Well, Bo, you built up that relationship though, right? So yes, maybe I was able to help you a little bit. Other people were maybe to help you a little bit, but you started that. So and I do want to bring up, like you had talked about, right, the Infinity products, and you mentioned it before, 30 years to build that up. Whenever I had David Gross at Skills USA, I always asked him to tell me how many products were in how many SKUs they had. right? Like, and he would like throw out these massive numbers, and all the kids were like, "Oh my gosh," And so, and I'm a 50-year-old kid, and I'm going, "Oh my gosh." So, uh,
Well,
It's hard managing all those products and making sure, because each one of them is a child in a way, not
Yeah.
a real child, we're talking, figuratively here, but you
Pinocchio.
got to nurture each one of those for each one of them to grow. And, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
and have the inventory when customers need it. So, well,
Absolutely.
yes.
so we had Doug ask, what is Conde? And for most of us who've been in the industry for a while, it's just the first name you think of when it comes to sublimation. And but along those lines, let's talk about sublimation in general. So, what are some of the common misconceptions about sublimation that you've run into over the years?
Um, Okay, I do have it in here, so I can talk about that. But first thing, these are just mine. They're they don't really represent Condi in any sort of way. We'll put that legal disclaimer out there. I think pressure is a misconception. I think people are always using way too much pressure. I do. I really, really do. With
I
t-shirts, I take these two fingers and I just pretty much, if you can close the press with your two fingers, we're talking Geonite DK20 here, okay? DK20S. That's all the pressure you need. If you're hulking it out on that, you might have too much pressure. That's my
and then
number
you're gonna have
one
transfer lines.
misconception. Huh?
And then you're gonna have transfer lines.
Yeah, yeah. And you might break your thing. You might even bend your press. I've seen people have, they're using clamshell heat presses. They might bend their press. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Condi used to always talk about swing away heat presses. And I am a firm believer, coming up in the music industry and being an artist, I guess you could say, you know, a DK20S is an amazing heat press. Yes, I can say that, but I've never paid the $2,000 for one. And the best heat press for sublimation is the heat press you have and you can afford.
Yeah.
Whether it's a swing away or a clamshell heat press. I think that's a misconception that you can't do sublimation on a clamshell.
Okay. Is
And
there
I'm
any
going to
other?
grab something. It's just over here. So
Okay,
hold on
sounds
one
good.
second.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The other misconception is it has to be light colored garments. And that is absolutely wrong. This is a red shirt, just black on this side, and it sublimates just fine.
Yeah.
I've got some gray on the front here. You can definitely do one color. Oh no. Where did I go? Did I leave?
You're good. You're
No,
there.
Oh,
you're
okay. You can definitely do it on other colored garments and other colored things besides white. So, definitely, I mean, you can sublimate to black, you're just not going to see it. And those are, I think, three misconceptions pretty good. Is that good?
That's
yeah.
good. I like that. Yeah, those are
I
really
like
good.
things in three, okay? I see that somebody down there, Rip, is saying they ordered 2 weeks ago and still have no tracking information. Um, what So Condi, we don't have the same database as the other Condi did. We don't have the customer information. We ask you to go to condi.com, and at the top there's an area where you can sign in and register for a new account. Um, I don't know if the old ordering system still works or something. There could be something going on with that. So I would suggest, that person should contact sales@condi.com, and we can help you out real quick.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Get the information to them, and you know, looking for solutions. That's the whole key. You gotta
Yeah.
gotta come looking for solutions, not looking to yell at somebody. So
Not only
Um,
are we,
I don't know if I got lost somewhere in any of that sort of thing, but we definitely want to take care of you, and we
absolutely.
will, do our best to get that done.
Yep, for sure. Terry, do you have something to add there?
oh,
Sorry.
I just said not only reintroducing Condi, but doing a little customer service on the air.
There we go. There we go. He says, okay, thank you.
Marketing and sales, public relations. It's all in my resume. It's
Well, that's what, yeah. That's what good employees do, right? It's never not my job.
Exactly
That's
right.
that's funny you say that because I have a story on that. But I'm just never stay at Circus Hotel, okay,
Okay.
and never take the $34 a night. I'm getting my extra $25 that they charged me. Definitely getting that. Never stay at Circus Hotel.
Okay. All right. So we clear somebody. All right.
And life advice.
And life advice too. I love it. I love it for sure. We've got D checking in saying hello. Good to see Bo and
Hey, how's it
Connie.
going? So this is a good thing here. D is a longtime viewer, longtime commenter, and all of that. It's Friday right now, if I'm correct, right? Friday the 20th.
The 20th. Yeah.
And I was a long time doing shows on Fridays called Friday Live on Condi.com or CondiTV.com. Next week, we will be bringing back Friday Live. I am announcing it
Great.
here. This is first news. Friday Live will be back next week. CondiTV.com. Stay tuned for more. Push buttons. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got the pom pom. Everything will be going. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. There we go. So D says we missed those shows, so they're ready. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. I got another question for you here, Bo. Okay, I'm a new to this space, right? I'm thinking about adding sublimation, and I know you guys also have some other technologies over there at Condi. So I want to kind of I'm looking at what to add to my toolkit, right? What kind of advice would you give somebody that's kind of, I'm interested, I'm excited about the shiny objects. What would you help them to make this a good business purchase decision?
Definitely sleep on it. First, sleep on it. Make sure the shiny object is still there in the thought in the morning
I
because
love that.
I don't want to sell you something that's going to sit in a box, and it makes me sad when oh yeah, I bought that 3 years ago, and it's still in the box, and it's like, how do you have money to spend that way? But that is my first thing is sleep on it. Make sure it's really what you want. And it's the you let's say you've got a heat press and you want to start sublimation and you've been doing vinyl. you know Call us 1-800-826-6332. Go to condi.com and I can send you some transfers out. Potentially I can send you, I can't say what I can and can't send you. I can send you transfers, but I could send you some substrates out, or we can work on an agreement on those sort of things and you can test it. I worked in Caesar technical support. That's where I started in this industry. And the first thing I learned, and it is just engraved in my memory with vinyl, is test cut, test cut, test cut, test cut. Did you do a test cut? Did you do a test cut? I don't care if you cut on this material yesterday, do a test cut. And if you're looking to add a new product, sleep on it, get it, test it. Do not call me saying I already have a job, with 1,500 mugs. I don't have any of the equipment. I don't have the stuff. You want to,
Outsource
you
that.
know, yeah, you want to give time on things.
Yeah.
And that's really the greatest thing is give time. I don't drive the trucks. I don't load the trucks. I don't bring it to your door. All of those sort of things. And thank you for all the people driving all of the big box trucks out there delivering all the stuff, because we wouldn't be here without them. We really wouldn't. And
Yep.
that's my biggest thing. And you want to get into DTF, you want to get into something, we can work out some sort of way. Right now I can't get you DTF transfers, but maybe in 2 weeks I can. I've got to work on that. But we definitely can. And Sharon Walsh is telling me that she needs something down there. And I know we all need Pro Spray. And Sharon, I lied to you last week and I felt bad and I forgot to text you back. Pro Spray will be coming in, I think, next week. I think next week, by the end of the week, it should be in. If not that, the following week. It will be here shortly.
Yeah.
Shortly, it will be here. We'll all have Pro Spray. We've got a lot coming. And yeah. That's something too, learning when your production is happening, learning when stuff is shipping, and understanding that stuff is going to be delayed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Terry, you've got some probably similar stories to what Bo was talking about, right? He's somebody going, "Oh, I got this job," right? And
yeah, I had a big smile on my face when he said that, because I couldn't tell you how many times I've gotten the call, "Hey, do you know what time the truck's delivering my DTG printer or my DTF printer?" And I'm like, well, gosh, I couldn't tell you the exact time. I just know it's today. Oh, I've got 150 shirts I need to do. And I'm like, don't you think you should try, I don't know, do a couple of test prints or, make sure everything's in the box. So
No, and getting something like DTF or something, we'll say, get it in, make some shirts, burn through 10, 20 shirts or something, and
throw
wash
it in the
them, wear
washer.
them, give them
Yeah.
out to your wife, your kids, your dog, your neighbors, and look at them 25 washes in, something like that. How are they holding up? What are they doing? Do you like the way it feels? Because your customer's gonna have the same thoughts you do, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good advice. And I think, that's what makes people like you, people like Terry, that was the way my sales process was too. I was more concerned about the people that still had the stuff in the box than I was about selling or not selling it to somebody. So, and I know you guys operate that same way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break here, real quick. We're going to pop out real quick and learn a little bit about a Facebook group that our success group has that I think you business owners out there would be very interested in. So, Eric, whenever you're ready for that. Hey, business owners, have you lost some of that spark in your business? Or maybe you love what you get to do and you want to share that joy with others. Either way, the Entrepreneur Success Hub is the community you've been looking for. In this group, we believe that every question is worth asking and your voice matters. Whether you're facing challenges or ready to celebrate successes, we've got a space for you to learn, grow, and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Join us for weekly video shows like the Rising Tide Talks and Small Business Saturdays. Also, get the latest announcements for our webinars and other educational content, all designed to help you fall in love with your business all over again. Plus, in the group, we've got fun challenges like our Gratitude Challenge and other resources to keep you inspired and focused on what matters most. Plus, you'll be part of a growing community of supportive business owners who understand what you're going through. Get into the group, be engaged. This is your space to ask questions, share experiences, and rediscover the joy of entrepreneurship. Head to osg.link/group and join the Entrepreneur Success Hub today. Together, we'll fall in love with our business and achieve our goals. All right. Check that out, you guys. I'd love to have you guys join the group over there if you haven't already come and checked it out. And just, Bo, you talk about positivity, right? That's what it's all about over there. How do we lift each other up? So if that's the type of thing you like, then come on over.
Bo, I hadn't really given this much thought until you started talking about this product coming in and that product coming in. I'm sure a lot of folks thought, oh, Conde's back. Everything is right there on the shelf, just the way they left it. And it is like starting a brand new business, but with everybody out there assuming that, yeah, you're all all ready to go.
I mean, we got a lot of good people in place doing things in places they need to be doing, but we don't have, the Sublinen had places and shelves. We don't even have places and shelves for some products yet, and that takes time to get the organization down and all those sort of things. So it's a lot of undertaking.
Yeah, expectations are high by your old customers. But let's talk. You had mentioned DTF. With the rise of DTF and UV DTF at Printing United here a week ago, it was everywhere. How do you see the sublimation market changing?
That's a really tricky question to answer because I think that sublimation is there. I think sublimation will always be there, and yeah, DTF and UV DTF has really, really taken over the whole industry. The way I look at it is every industry is kind of chasing screen printing in a way. That's my favorite type of shirt decoration.
Terry's
But
too.
It really is. But with DTF, you've got the white ink, and the white ink needs to be babysit. No matter what you got, and as everything's growing and changing and technology's getting better, I think that's one of the strongest benefits of sublimation is, you can turn your printer on and print on it pretty much whenever you want. And it's going to come out. You're not going to have to worry about the white ink clogging and all of those sort of things. But I do think that as DTF is getting better and DTG is getting better, I don't know if you guys saw the Rico RI 4000 there at Printing United that can do the pre-treatment and print on, all sorts of polyester to cotton in one machine. I think that they're going to definitely be looking at sublimation and targeting sublimation, but I think the sublimation market still, with, the wide gamut of products you can go on, I think it's still strong. You might not be able to please every one of your customers, the dark garments on cotton.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just another tool. That's the way
Yeah.
I would look at it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Ramona asked, can DTF do hard surface? Sublimation is amazing for hard surface. And yeah, so UV DTF you could apply, but it is still a sticker, so to speak. So it's not like sublimation. So yeah, again, like Terry just mentioned, a potential tool for the toolbox. Right. So
we will be getting in, and I'm sorry, I don't know the model number and everything, but DTF Station has a UV DTF printer. We'll be getting that in. But the thing is this Epson F170 here this thing is less than $450.
yeah.
A UV DTF printer is going to be in the, $10,000 to $14,000 range.
Right.
Something like
At
that.
a minimum.
So
Right.
that's a benefit of sublimation right there.
Okay. So speaking of sublimation, Bo, it's a good transition for us here. I want to get from you. I think one of the things people love so much about the lives that you were doing on the regular is you really help people kind of open up their ideas, really get the creative juices flowing, marketing ideas, things like that. We are here in nearing the fourth quarter. I don't want to freak anybody out, but we are nearing the fourth quarter here, that holiday season, that definitely a lot of gift decorators, product decorators. This can be our big time, right? This is where we make our money and we are successful. So what do you think, opportunities are that people should be looking at as we approach this holiday season?
Aaron, I'm going to disagree with you. I think we are in the fourth quarter now. I just think the quarters aren't evenly spaced. I don't know if you know this, but we are officially in pumpkin spice season, which
God, I just threw up in my mouth.
Love it or hate it. I think that's really what kicks off the fourth quarter. Maybe back to school does. I don't know. Maybe that closes out the third quarter and back to pumpkin spice. But I've got a coffee mug.
Season from now on.
I've got a coffee mug in front of me. Pumpkin spice season. I saw a sticker on my fridge for a coffee company, and I was like, man, I got to get some pumpkin fall coffee going. But that's where I think that sublimation really can help you with that. Is if you've got coffee mugs, that's who doesn't want a coffee mug? Coffee mugs are great for a lot of things. You can use it, for coffee. Yeah, coffee, tea, water. I personally like drinking with a handle all day long. You can use it as a pencil holder. You can use it as a flower pot, a decoration of some sort. Great sublimation product there that you can do. And as we get into the fourth quarter and the holidays and all that, you're going to be taking a lot of photos, at all your family things. You've got Halloween. Well, you've got your back to school photos, your first day of school photo. Everyone takes one of those. They've got their last day of school photo going the whole year. You're going to be having a lot of fall weddings. You're going to have a lot of get-togethers with Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all the holidays going on there. So you're going to have a lot of photos on your phone or your camera roll that are going to need to be photographed to something in January, February, March. People are going to be looking for those sort of things. So you can take your fourth quarter and expand it into the slow first quarter and really get a jump start on the year that way. But there's a lot of stuff you can use to decorate your house and make those memories special.
Awesome. Well, you talked about trying to replenish stock, the old faithful products that everybody's going to want to buy. Is there any new exciting products that you guys are working on there now?
Oh, man.
It's just us, Bo. Just, let the cat out of the bag. It's fine.
Well, what was that in the outline? Before Candy wasn't a Stalls dealer, so we are working with Stalls now. which is Hottronics. We've got all of those heat presses. So not just Geonite, we can now, service people and help people who want to get a Stalls heat press. We have Caesar now. We have all of the Caesar products. So I shouldn't say all of them, but we're going to carry 98% of Caesar's products. So we are going to have HTV, heat transfer vinyl, and their pressure sensitive vinyl, which is sticker vinyl. And I think that sticker vinyl is one of the most underrated products in the industry, because really all you need is a cutter. You could go online and get a less than $100 Cameo 3 and start cutting vinyl, your pressure sensitive vinyl, and selling that to people. Everyone's got those little stickers of their family on the back of their car, their business, a little white logo in their business. And that's a great product that I think is really undervalued. And that's something I'm going to really start showing people. Condi started carrying Polar Camel tumblers. That's a great product line. We're also getting into the laserable areas. So laser, you can laser products, those sort of things, acrylic, all of that. We're also going to be getting in the laser machine game. Not going to let any secrets out of the bag, but maybe that'll help people understand what we're looking to bring on.
I like it. Breaking news, more breaking news here on
Yeah.
Well, you have to read between the lines, but okay. Awesome. Well, it sounds like, obviously kind of getting back, like you said, 10% of infinity is still a lot, right? And it's so kind of getting that going, and then new things in the works. I love that. And Bo, maybe for people that aren't super familiar, just, the new owner of Condi, David McLean, right? That's am I saying his last name? Okay. I'm notorious for butchering people's names, as you know. But to tell us a little bit about his background. He's got another business as well, correct?
He does. He owns a company by the name of trophykids.com, and it's where you want to go if you want to order trophy parts. It's the trophy parts place. So if you're looking to assemble trophies for your customers and all that, you want to go to trophykids.com. I know absolutely nothing about trophies. I know they've got like a base and a laser engravable spot, and you've got like a thing coming up that you put like a funny looking character or something on top. He's got all of those sort of things.
Very cool. Okay.
You'll definitely find those parts. The funny looking thing on top is the category it's on
Technical
at trophykids.com.
And that little plate that says participant.
Yeah. So I think it really does offer the sublimation people, your cheer team, a volleyball team, a bowling team. Say you're a bowling team or you're a drinking team with a bowling problem. Is that what the
Yes,
saying is?
Uh-huh.
You can get your shirts made, custom shirts made, and then you can also get your trophies, made for your team at the end of the year, and all of that one place.
Cool. All right.
Very good.
Love it. Okay. Well, so this has been a great conversation, Bo. Thank you so much for your time. And again, we're just ecstatic to see you back in this role. Kind of feels like where you belong, sir. So I love having you here, and appreciate you coming and sharing all the details about what's going on. Where can people go to learn more about Condi Systems and to connect, and where they're going to go to like watch the Friday Lives coming up, all that kind of good stuff?
You can go to condi.com to find everything, all the products and all those sort of things. Just make sure if you haven't created a new account, please do. It's in the top center. If you're on your monitor, like right here is where it should be. It says create a new account. We weren't able to bring on the old contact lists and all that, so we don't have your information in there. Go ahead, register, buy things, look around, and have fun. For the Friday Lives, you can head over to conditv.com. Go ahead and hit that button for to subscribe, ring the notification bells, and
Bing, bing, bing.
push all those buttons everywhere. Just push some buttons and have fun. That's my motto of life.
Just push the buttons.
Awesome.
Terry's been pushing my buttons for years. He loves it.
I have.
Good time.
Fantastic, Bo.
Yeah, thanks, Bo. Appreciate having you. Good talking to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and I look forward to future collaborations.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
See you soon.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love talking about.
I never considered the fact that they're basically starting from square one, and I'm sure that a lot of folks out there think that they're still registered and the warehouse is stocked full, but sounds like they're well on their way to building Condi back to what it was. So I'm excited to hear
Very
that.
cool stuff. Very cool. Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, Terry, that we have to remember as the customers, as the consumers, or people, they're customers, that this is a transition, not just okay, lights were off, now the lights are back on.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Terry, what's coming up? I know we're all kind of like, we got back from Printing United after a great show there and stuff, but
yeah,
where are you heading to?
My next complete screen printing business course, and yes, people are still screen printing. The classes all sell out. My next class in Chicago with Atlas Screen Supply will be October 12th through 13th. My next class at Workhorse Products here in Phoenix will be November 16th and 17th. And I'll be in Fort Worth at Impressions Expo October 24th through 26th. And I'm going to be speaking on DTG and DTF printing. Which one is right for you? And watch for all my upcoming events at terrycombs.com. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, so something I didn't even have a chance to get in the outline yet because it just got solidified yesterday. It was always kind of in the works, and I've talked about it before, but Graphics Pro is happening in Indy in just a couple weeks, October 2nd or 3rd, something like that. Thank you, Eric. Graphics-Pro-Expo. And again, it was always in the works, but we didn't have the paperwork finalized until yesterday. So I haven't even really kind of got everything together, but I get to do two things there at Graphics Pro that I'm really excited about. So in years past, we've done what's called Start Here Academy, and the new ownership group has taken that and they've run with it. And I think doing something really cool with it here. So they're also doing what they're calling Graphics Pro University. So this will not only have a presentation, kind of the Start Here idea that I'll get to be a part of and MC, it looks like, but also an opportunity to then get down on the show floor and see stuff in action, right? A little bit like maybe the apparel zone at Printing United in a way, maybe kind of, I don't know. So I'm still getting all the details, but pretty excited to see that and see what they're doing with that. So if you're anywhere near Indy, just head over to graphics-pro-expo and get signed up there. Plus, on the last day of the show, I will be presenting Pricing for Profit, a presentation that I love doing because there's so many light bulb moments for people. It really, all these light bulb moments that I had throughout my career, and being able to share those with people so they can go, oh yeah, maybe my pricing strategy of asking the Facebook group that knows nothing about my business is not the exact way I should be setting my pricing, right? Sure, market research, understood. But anyhow, so I'm looking forward to that. Another thing I want to share with people real quick, Terry, is I want to buy them a coffee. Right? Sounds weird, right? But I'm giving out $10 gift cards to about 20 to 30. I want 20 to 30 minutes of your time is what I'm trying to get here. So I'm looking for business owners that have 2 to 5 team members, whether that's employees, partners, part-time, VAs, whatever. Just want to have some people involved in the business. Plus, I'm looking for folks that have 2 or more years in business, and I'd like to talk to them. I'm calling these partner perspective chats, and it's really just a no strings attached conversation for me to learn a little bit more from you. No sales pitch, none of that stuff. I have no intention or plan of even telling you what we do at our success group. I really want to understand what you guys are dealing with so I can better help and serve people like you in the future. So if you want to go to osg.link/coffee and find a time, like I said, I'm looking to do about 10 to 20 of these interviews just to really kind of get a better understanding of what's going on with folks in the world today. So osg.link/coffee. And then last but not least, the OSG link /group. We already heard about that in the promotion earlier on, but we'd love to have you join us over there in the group. As soon as we're done here, I'll go check and let anybody new in. So that's what I've got going on. Let's see here. Eric, I'm checking that to make sure that I've got all this here in front of us for Eric. I'll go ahead and read it, Terry, if that's all right, since you gave me the week off last week, so I feel like I need to step up a little bit. Eric's latest article at Images Magazine, it's Learn from the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Just
Dun,
because
dun,
I love it. Just because you don't like your client's choice of design, threads, or garment, the job still needs to be stitched to the best of your ability. So it's the September issue, and Eric offers advice on how to avoid disappointment by truly listening to what your customer wants. Oh man, how important is this? Even when the art is questionable. So I would recommend this for folks out there. Even if you're not an embroiderer, go read that article. You're going to get something out of it. It's a great article. So, Eric, you've got that in the comments there, and we'll have that in the show notes as well, where you can go check that out. But it's imagesmag.uk/SEPT24-ERICH. And then also coming up for Eric today is episode 202 of The Take Up, the essentials, pull and push distortion. After repeated requests, Eric's bringing us back to the bedrock stumbling block of embroidery digitizers and embroiderers alike: push and pull distortion. So, Terry, you're familiar?
No.
I'm not either. So I may have to check this out so I can learn more. But he's going to talk about why it happens, what surprising reason it might be exaggerated. There you go. Come and learn that. That's going to be worth the price of admission right there, and how to compensate for it. So it's your last chance to sign up for a free replay of Eric's Understanding Emblems class. So if you'll head over to ericcampbell.com and click the Take Up tab at the top, you get to the YouTube channel, and then you can tune in live at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And I said worth the price of admission. That was a joke, folks. Eric does this every week almost, and it's like an hour to 90 minutes of like 501 level education for free. So the price of admission is your time, and it's going to be well worth it to go over there and check out the Take Up. Yep. All right. Well, Terry, we still got the secret sauce.
Dane's been waiting in the wings.
let's bring Dane in here, Eric. So whenever you're ready.
Hey everybody, Dane Clement here with Stalls. In today's secret sauce, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about some color management. We're not going to get real deep because it's a really complex topic, right? But last week, I think it was last week, was at the Printing United show. Aaron and I started talking to some other people, and a couple questions came up as far as which should I create my artwork in? And it's kind of funny because it's just like artwork, right? It's a personal preference. I like to create all my artwork in RGB all the time, forever and ever. Amen. That's how I do it. You might not want to, right? Depending on what you do, right? Because I do artwork for screen printing and direct-to-garment printing and DTF stuff. So if you're going to print, if all you do is digital printing, then you might want to create it in CMYK. But I would probably say you should at least look at creating it in RGB, because that's the best your artwork will ever look, right? That is your computer screen, all lights going straight into your eyeballs, right? About the best it's going to get. So knowing that, you can fake it, right? You can see what it's going to look like on a CMYK printer after you create the artwork. Typically, no one's going to see it side by side. Like I have a printed shirt and I have a digital whatever. I mean, might compare it, but you'll never ever get what you see on a digital format printed, right? It's not possible. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to set up your files first, and then I'll show you a couple of files, that will show a little degradation, I guess I could use as a word, as you convert to CMYK for that process. And you might want to do that. I would recommend doing that to show you customers and stuff. But we'll get to that part here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to set up a new file. So what I did is in Photoshop here, I just went File, New, right? This is my new window. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to inches because, I am in America. All right, and I'm going to do whatever size you want to do. I like to set my stuff up at 14 inches by 14 inches, and my resolution is at 300 pixels per inch. And again, I use RGB color for many reasons. If you want, you can click on this thing and make it a CMYK file, up to you. But I'll kind of explain why I do it this way. I want my background to always be transparent, right? I want to make sure that I don't have to remove my artwork from a background. So let's do this. So once I get to that point, I can scroll down a little bit, and I have a color profile. Now, if you have your own equipment or if you're using an outsourced service provider, they probably will tell you, hey, create your artwork using sRGB, right? Which would be right here. And the reason I say that is because that's like the dumbed down version of RGB, right? So it gets rid of a lot of the fringe colors that are pretty tough to create and print. Still can't print all the colors using this particular profile, but it's, I guess they say it's more closely manageable or matchable, right? So you can use that if you want. I don't. If you notice, my Photoshop was set up to Adobe RGB 1998. That's the one I like to use because I get better colors, right? No matter what I'm printing on. So for instance, if you got a DTG printer and you've been struggling with your colors not being bright enough, or maybe your blacks look like a charcoal gray and they don't look really black, just try this. Change your profile to Adobe RGB 1998, give it a shot, and see what happens, right? I notice my blacks are always richer, my colors are always more vibrant. That's why I use it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And then now if I was going to create artwork, I would do it right here. And if you're going to do CMYK, let me show you a little something. I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of this one, right? We're going to go over here. AI created jack-o'-lantern. It looks pretty cool. So we got really bright neon type of greens and we got some oranges, right? So that is my original. This next one right here says copy. This is exactly the same file. I didn't do anything to it yet, but what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to show you. Go to image mode and I'm going to change it to CMYK. So watch my screen. You can kind of see the green sort of died off, right? So that's a CMYK. That's my RGB. So I'll just kind of flip back and forth a couple times. You can see it's not capable of printing that really neon green, right? That super hot green. It can't do it in CMYK. So you get this. Still not bad. Looks pretty cool. But that's the difference, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one and the other one here. Different colors react differently though, right? So here's another one. Happens to be, again, AI stuff. But this one here is got a lot of pinks, purples, I guess, Pantone sort of purple, oranges and reds. And, again, this is just an exact copy, right? Still says RGB. Just want to show you what happens to this one. Colors react differently depending on the spectrum that you're working on. So I'm going to image and come down to mode. I'll change that to CMYK. Now, that died off pretty heavy, in my opinion, right? So here's my original. That looks great. Here's my color killer version. And it's because we can't generate this super mega bright Pantone purple with CMYK colors. That's why. So people say, well, why would you create it this way? Well, a couple of reasons. One, if it's digital, an ad, whatever I might want to do, anything digital delivered, I can get that hot color. So I like it. I want it to be there. If I'm a screen printer, I can separate this. I can use neon bright colors like that and duplicate exactly what you're seeing here. I could put a turquoise in here. I could put a blue, a royal blue type of thing. I can have multiple colors to achieve this look. So I can get really close to exactly this look on a printed shirt if I'm screen printing it. If I'm printing it digitally, then I'm sort of stuck with this. Now, a couple things you can do. So real quick, I'm going to go to image menu, come down to adjustments, right? And I'll go to selective color. Then I get this window. So what I want to do is I'm going to go down. Let's just want to affect these magentas. So let's just sort of maybe pull out some black, right? You kind of see it change a little bit. I'm going to pull out a little cyan as well. And you see it gets a little brighter. Now if I juice up my magenta, right? Kind of does like that. I can pull back on my yellow that's in there. I can push it up. I don't really want to push it up because then it sits, that's kind of cool, but it sits really close to the oranges. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop it off a little bit. And now if I turn off and on my little preview box here, you can see a change. Not exactly my original, right? But still much better than it was. So that's just a quick way to do it. If you want to show your customer, right, what this thing's going to print like, if you're printing digitally, then do like this. Take a screenshot or make your mock-up using CMYK and go with it that way. If you're going to deliver, if you're going to deliver everything digitally, then I would do it this way. If you're screen printing, I would use RGB and get it that way because I think it's going to be the best. So basically, it's a personal preference. If you want to show and work in only the thing that you can reproduce digitally, then you may as well use CMYK. I don't, but you can. There's nothing wrong with it. It will get the job done. But if I want a screen print, I can separate this, get those hot colors. Now I got it. So that's all I got for you today. Stay tuned for another one in about a month or so, I guess, ish. So thanks for hanging out. To see more about me, go to daneclement.com.
Well, that was
All
good.
right. Thank you, Dane. Appreciate that.
Nobody
Good
knows
stuff.
more about art than Dane Clement. So
The thing I love about Dane is I can guarantee you that he didn't really plan, quote unquote, plan that out. He literally just pulled that up and was kind of doing it, so to speak, right?
yeah,
I love
exactly.
sitting in his classes because people like throw stuff at him and he'll just be like, oh yeah. I'm like, whoa, hold on, slow down. Gonna take some notes. All right. Well, Terry, that was awesome. Awesome show today. Thanks so much to Bo. So excited about new Condi. We'll drop the new here pretty soon, Bo, but just for right now as we make this transition. So we've got go over to condi.com, CONDE.com, and check them out. So we appreciate Bo's time today and looking forward to collaborating with him in the future, Terry.
Yeah, I was thrilled when I saw Condi was rising from the ashes, much like the Phoenix. We also want to thank Eric Campbell, our show producer, for pushing all the buttons and turning all the dials and keeping us going. We appreciate you, man.
Even when I push the buttons, he still keeps it going. So I appreciate him very much. Terry, next week we're gonna we've had a chance to take a deep breath, but we actually recorded some stuff there and Printing United. So I think some really good stuff. And so our goal is to kind of recap for those that didn't get a chance to attend live, and we'll play some of those clips and talk about it, and just I think really have a nice kind of bow, put a bow on that show, because I think people are interested, right? I know a lot of good things came out of it for those of us that were able to be there, but I think as an industry, a lot of good things came out of it. So I think that'll be really valuable for the industry to kind of have that bow put on top of it. So I'm looking forward to next week, Terry.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah.
And until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And that was the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.